Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Miguelabration in honor of the one and only, the ultimate elegua, Miguel Algarin. Y para como yo para, y para como yo para, como de cónico y para como yo para, elegua chulona, y para como yo para, y para como yo para, como de cónico y para como yo para, elegua chulo, a buque. Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Lafia, Miguel Algarin. And now, to continue our Miguelabration, will be the one and only Elena Martinez.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our July Palabreando. And give it up for Bobby Sanabria, giving that bendición Miguel Algarin to start our show off, and to start our program off. And as you know, I mentioned, this is our Palabreando. We do this every other month, an open mic spoken word event. And this month, we're doing a little bit of having a special tribute to go along with a series of events that have been in tribute in honor of Miguel Algarin. Miguel Algarin is an iconic, important poet, not only in the Nuyorican poetry movement, but in the poetry scene in general of New York City and nationally, who passed away last December. So leading up to his birthday in September, there's been a series of events, programs, and Zoom rooms, open Zoom rooms, to sort of harken back to the Nuyorican's open mic open rooms to honor Miguel's legacy, his life, and his legacy for the poetry community here in New York City. Everyone, please make sure you're muted. Your mic is muted. That was Bobby Sanabria. I'm Elena Martinez, with the co-artistic directors of the Bronx Music Heritage Center. And to just to start off the program, I need to just give a shout out to our funders. The Bronx Music Heritage Center programming is supported in part by the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts with the support of the New York State Legislature, public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council, the Lily Auchincloss Foundation, and the Laurie M. Tisch Illumination Fund. Tonight we have, again, to make the specialness of this program for in a tribute to Miguel Algarin, we have two guests tonight, two poetic guests. They both have a history with performing at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, which Miguel founded in the 1970s. One of them, Hattress Barbour, is a Harlem resident, and we also have with us, who originally from the Bronx, Edwin Torres, who it'll be great to have on here tonight too, because as a program called Palabreando, which is like a playful spin on the use of language and words, and Edwin's poetry sort of captures that sort of essence. So we'll have them later on in the program. But to start off, before we get to our hosts, Boca Floja and Lyrical Bliss, I want to just give a shout out to members of the other members of the Miguelabration Committee who've been getting things together in honor of Miguel this past year. We have Lois Griffith, who was also ran the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and Nancy Mercado, another Nuyorican poet. So I want to introduce first Nancy Mercado to say a few words about Miguel Algarin and the Miguelabration series.
Hi everyone. Hi. Um, well, I wanted to say that Miguel was a Puerto Rican who was born in Puerto Rico, but came to New York City at the age of 10. He became a scholar, a Shakespearean scholar, and founded the Nuyorican Poets Cafe along with Miguel Piñero and Lucky Cienfuegos. Just giving a short, recap for those who may not know. Um, he also documented the writings of Puerto Ricans in New York City at that time in the anthology, the Nuyorican Poetry, 1974-75 was published. And I wanted to say when the reason why I organized or thought of doing a tribute to Miguel was because of this. Miguel is a really big figure for us, and I always say, me personally say that he's like our Allen Ginsberg. He founded the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. He was the one who chronicled the Nuyorican literary movement, and I wanted to. And my relationship with him from years. I met him when I was 18, and he was my professor, and we were friends until the day that he passed in November. I wanted to give him a tribute and to thank him for everything that he did, for us, for Puerto Ricans, for other groups that are not mainstream literary, writers and such. So I wanted to put together a tribute for him, and then I asked Elena Martinez, who helped me as a result of that, to put together what eventually became known as the Miguelabration Committee. One thing I wanted to emphasize before I go on is that we have done all of these events pro bono. None of us have gotten paid for this, and I'm saying this because I want that to be clear. We did it because we love Miguel and we respect him, and respect his work. The first thing that we organized was a 6.5 hour to 7 hour tribute to Miguel online. Because of COVID, we had to do it online, and there were poets and artists there from all over the world. We had people coming in from Europe and all kind, Africa, and and famous people, and they gave a tribute to Miguel that was their own work that they recited, sang, preached, whatever, danced to, played on musical instruments. They did this as a tribute to Miguel, and it was a really fantastic and incredible program, 6.5 hours to 7 hours. And we had all of these organizations, I think maybe close to 10 organizations, that came together and live streamed this through social media, Facebook and other social media platforms simultaneously. This was a major event that took place. We organized this, we put it together. We've had about 5 Zoom rooms, open Zoom rooms, which are like open mics, only they're via Zoom because of the COVID. Those are also take a long time to organize. And then once they're on, they take 2 or 3, 4 hours, to broadcast. We wanted to eventually culminate all the work that we're doing in a big street celebration for Miguel, okay? Unfortunately or fortunately, those at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe decided that they were going to do their own event, their own street event. So in the essence of wanting to show solidarity with Miguel, primarily with Miguel Algarin and his legacy, with his family, we decided, the Miguelabration Committee, that we would culminate our programs and all of our events with a beautiful anthology that Lois Elaine Griffith is putting together. It's a live anthology. It will be housed permanently on the web. So all of the writers, artists that want to contribute to that, please, contact us. So Lois Elaine Griffith is working on that with her college interns, and it's a really beautiful project. So we, the Miguel Celebration Committee, will be culminating with that event as opposed to the live program that we had originally originally wanted to organize for Miguel. Finally, I wanted to say that although the Miguel Celebration Committee is in a way winding down its work, everything, I'm still involved in many projects that are both publications and live programs that will be coming to fruition. So please stay in contact with me. You know, look at my Facebook page, go to my website. I will be hosting or putting together with other artists and friends other tributes to Miguel, to keep Miguel's legacy and work alive, and also to help because other people will do the same. And also very important to keep the Nuyorican literary movement at the forefront of the American letters, which is something really very, very important to do. So that is what I want to.
Thank you so much. And Lois, did you want to say something briefly before we start, or you were muted before? Do you want to say something, or should we just?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Lois.
Hi, Nancy. Yes, thank you. From my part is that we keep the idea of what the essence of Nuyorican is. It's an aesthetic that, because of Miguel's genius in creating a space in the community for us to come together to speak our words, we have made a sound. We have put words together in ways in the past 50 years that nobody has seen. And we want to keep that to the forefront. Also about the anthology, I'm working with Joseph Cáceres, Orantia Ramirez, and Alicia Mascarenas. We're going to be sending people letters to contribute to the anthology, which we want to put on the web forever and ever, because anything that goes on the web is forever and ever, so that you can share pictures or poems or videos or a selfie, or however you see fit, whether you are friend or foe or lover or enemy or running buddy. We're going to collect all of these works together. I would keep it down to 5 minutes or so, but I'm going to be sending out letters and posting an email address where you can send the work to. Thank you. And thank you, Elena and Bobby. And thank you, Nancy, for all your hard work in making this happen.
Thank you, Lois. That was Lois Lane Griffith. And maybe if anyone is interested in the anthology, you maybe want to put your email or something in the chat, and she can get that from you, or you guys can be in touch. But now I want to introduce our host. They will tell you the sort of the parameters of tonight's thing, how much time, poems everyone has, when we'll have our guest speakers start and the open mic start. I want to introduce Boca Floja and Lyrical Bliss.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm super excited to see everyone here and for us to be all a part of the celebration.
Saludos, peace everybody. Really, really excited to be part of this special night. This is another edition of Palabreando, but tonight is very special because we're paying homage and showing love and respect to one of the greatest figures of our contemporary literature. So I'm really excited. Also, we have two very, very special guest performers, and so we should enjoy tonight. It's gonna be fun. Lyrical Bliss, do you wanna let them know about some of the rules for tonight?
Yes. So each poet will get just, one piece per poet, and of course, be respectful to one another's. If you're not performing, please keep yourself on mute. And yeah, it's gonna be a great night. It's gonna be super dope. And yes, I will start off with a poem, and then we'll get into all these amazing poets that have signed up. I hope I can make her happy. I hope that she's not too ashamed. I hope that she understands that life takes different turns, flows in different rivers, with currents I can't control. I hope she's not too upset that I made promises I couldn't keep. How could I tell her I forgot her wildest dreams, but baby girl, I can't control everything. I can't control the way people decide to view me, the way I enter a room and they see Black before they see all of me and make assumptions about this kinky crown that defies gravity. I can't help that everything I say is skin deep. The way I walked on these streets and my hips swing. I'm sorry, you had to lose your innocence way before 13. And that this world doesn't prioritize your safety, little Black queen. There's a lot of things I can't control, but let me remind you of some of the things I can, because you see, I control the way I breathe, the way I speak, the way I enter a room and take up space that I seek, and let it be known you can't disrespect me. I came from a lineage of royalty. I stomped my feet to remind myself I rose from this concrete, stood face to face with defeat. I control the way I fall on these knees time and time again to plead that God helps me and that I help me. Because time and time again, I remind myself of my beauty, that this beautiful chocolate skin radiates energy beyond me. So little Black, beautiful, loving, amazing, talented, extraordinary, resilient queen. My love. I'm not ashamed because I know that I have, I will, and I do make you happy. Thank you. That one was called Little Black Queen. Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you. I see some claps and stuff.
Nice. So should we start with the first performer? For the open mic, we have Indigo Moon. Okay, so welcome to Palabreando, Indigo Moon. Bienvenida a Palabreando.
All right. How's it going?
Welcome, welcome.
Let me see what my video looks like here. All right. Okay. So this is a poem. I didn't know I was going first. This is a poem about how we're all connected. You are my other me. We are all connected. Martin Luther King Jr. is a big influence of mine, and obviously Miguel Algarin is as well. And when one person is suffering, we're all suffering. So this was inspired by actually some kids that were laughing at a homeless person who was pooping on the subway. And it's called Brothers and Sisters of the Revolution. Brothers and sisters of the revolution, what else are we here for? If not to annihilate the riches of the world, commemorate our people. Withhold the system that lays itself down to rest, content with the fact it stole dreams and programmed our minds to live mechanically. Robotic waveforms clutter my membrane. Each day I decide to parallel my life with the system. That is why I must live in the universal law that I lay at my bedside next to me at night. And the homeless people on the street are our distant faces when we were broken, kneeled with their head in their hands. It is the ancestors wrapped up, handcuffed in slavery. See, we are all connected, undulating the backbone of our universe, cradling the haunting whispers of history which made us who we are today. So we must spew sunsets into the history banks to claw out our cluttered minds, rearrange the system which binds our necks, causing a collection of heating pads which lay uselessly on our sofas. That dollar delicately dangling in your pocket has no value in useless hands when useful hearts go ignored, waiting to be reminded they are human. That man shitting on the sidewalk, that was you, me, when our bodies were bleeding. When the store's restrooms told you can't shit here. That dude who needs that sip of Hennessy to wet his lips each night is just trying to manage the mindfuck he's in. That is not for you to judge the placement in one's life. We are part of them, they are part of us. Rearrange the system, learn to fight. Let's wrap our heads together, weave the braids and locks of time between our minds, climb and swing from ivy vines to transfer the times. We are too hesitant to change that which has grounded our minds. We are merely molded in the city concrete because they stripped the trees from their soil, moved the mountains from our palms, and earthquaked the seas into a dried up ocean, just land closed off by park rangers. So we cannot swim against the stream. That's why they kept the slaves away from the water, to keep them from swimming, to keep them from fighting, and they want to keep us from fighting. So we are waiting in the water, waiting for the waves to change upon our heads and teach us to rise above the muddy waters of our time. Some of us are caught in the undertow, flailing arms, kicking and screaming. So we must learn to swim past this conformist current, drowning our body's organs that we are gasping for our last breath. We are brothers and sisters of the revolution. We cannot wait for the waves to wash this ashore. We must non-conform to this current and push past all this. Sweep stardust futures into our newborn babies' pupils and spoon feed sprinkles of enlightenment into the government's mouths and to each other. What else are we here for? If not to annihilate these riches of the worlds, commemorate, withhold the system, learn to swim and fight. Thank you. And also just FYI, I have music online, and that is actually a track with beats in the background, indigomoonmusic.bandcamp.com, Brothers and Sisters of the Revolution.
Yes, thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Oh, you could tell everyone where we can find you at?
Yeah, so I'll announce again my music, which is online. It's indigomoonmusic.bandcamp.com. My Instagram is We Are Rhythm, as you would, how it's spelled, or you can just look me up, Indigo Moon, but the handle is We Are Rhythm. Yeah, and my Facebook page is Indigo Moon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. So our next poet, artist will be Cameron Skies. Is you here, Cameron?
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello. Welcome back.
How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
All right. I'm going to get into a piece. And before I do, I just want to say real quick that, again, beautiful tribute to Miguel we're doing here tonight, because honestly, Nuyorican was the first place that I really found, that I wanted to keep doing this. It felt like, it always feels like going to church whenever I'm in Nuyorican, for real. With all that being said, we're into this piece. This one is called Perspective. The cracks in the concrete tell me stories. All the liquor bottle shrines lined with 40s reforming lost narratives. Reforging lost characters, I see the echoes of those who walked here before me. Those who've lived in my home. Those who walked through this hood. Those who regrettably never made it out. I hear the cries coming from these hunger-laden streets paved with greed. These hasty feet running to their deaths because it's the only path they see. I wish I could lead them to those fields of green. That land of milk and honey, the one they promised in the scripture. I wish I could paint them a picture. I wish I could talk to them in a language that would make them listen. If only we all saw through the same eyes. I wish I would give both a mind just to grant them vision. I would give both a mind just to grant them vision, just to let them know there's more to life than death. There's living, there's loving, We're not separated by blocks. Those are your brothers. It doesn't matter what colors you see, because they might crip blue, but it's always gonna be red when you bleed. And I get it. Y'all too hurt to see. Y'all too hurt to feel. Y'all too full of fear, because we can all hear the sounds of mothers crying, bullets flying, children dying, and police sirens. It's the cacophony of the ghetto, the orchestra of the oppressed, a requiem for the red line. See, I've always kept it in my mind that I might not make it to 25. Shit, I don't know how I made it past 23. What I do know is that I want to lead, to enlighten everyone who's lost in the dark, that's frightened, that's scared of never seeing light again, help them find it in themselves to look at things differently, see past the food desert, see the feasts in the distance, see past the gun, believe your life is more than a bullet, is more than a sentence, is more than spilled 40s, is more than shrines, see past the 911, see more than 187s, see past the cell, see through the window, see the highs, even though you've been low, even if you are so, even if you will be, trust me, I know it seems impossible to see it, but you have to remember that you have the potential to be the hope you want to see. Look to your opportunities and what you're soon to be, what you're soon to have, freedom you're soon to see, whether you're a slave, a sovereign, a menace to society, a stain, a pain, a pillar of prosperity or prudency. And at the end of the day, whether you be Toby or Kunta King, it's just a matter of perspective. Believe that not only one path lies before you. Just because you're at the bottom now, that don't mean you can't see the top someday. Just be cautious, because even at the top, they're going to find some way to make you pave the sidewalk, to make your blood into mortar, some way to make you a martyr, to make you forget what we fought for, the blood we spill, the tears that wash over our backs, the sweat that pools around our ankles as we try to envision a world never before known to us. But I trust and believe that my people will see the light someday, that my people will free their minds and play in the fields that God gave his only son for. From my perspective, a future where my people can think for themselves is only future worth looking towards. That's that piece.
Yes, poet.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yes, let the people know we can follow you at.
Oh yeah. So if y'all want to follow me, keep what I'm doing, you can follow me on IG at False Prophet Poetry. It's all one word. Again, FALSEPROPHETPOETRY. Thank you so much, y'all. Let's get it going.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was always good. So coming up next, we're gonna have our first guest performer of the night, another very, very important figure for the Nuyorican movement, an amazing writer. We're gonna invite Edwin Torres. Welcome to Palabreando. Bienvenido a Palabreando, Edwin Torres. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Good to be here.
All right.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey everybody. Power to Miguel. You know, when I came to the cafe, I was just like it was a church. It was like a weekly church to kind of like come to and share our communal spirit. You know, so it's important to kind of keep that legacy alive. You know, Miguel for me always represented in a way the galaxy and the Earth at the same time. You know, the ground and the stars. So I'm reading some pieces tonight that are about that. I'm gonna have 3 pieces total. The first two are gonna be in my next book coming out in the fall called Quanundrum, and then the last one is like a 6-minute video that I did of me playing a recording that I did with Miguel. So we'll lead up to that. Okay, so thank you. And here we go. Muy bien. Miguel, para usted. This is called Immigrant Earthling. Of the home is ethnicity. Of the city is home. A galactic ethnic would call Earth immigrant. Of home, of not here. Dimension 1, F is. Dimension 2, ne, not. Dimension 3, city, home, is not home, is not here, home. Hallucinate your infinity, room to room. As we, in one huge home, are kept in one huge room to prevent roam. Ah, 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 ah. Of the blood is ethnicity. the indigenous ethnic, the call of the walk, the reset of new eyes, new hands, every day a new line in the sand, a new dare, something pure I can own. Let's stand together shoulder to shoulder to see how we fit in. Look at the supernova pretend to be the satellite. As the galaxy in our thumb swirl puffs and blows away, we are here, somos otros, vosotros, immigrant earthlings, horsehead nebulas, quasars, catchlings, and quantum recons. All that fitting in, controlling the shout, we hear in. Animals at home with our limbs, with letting limbs dictate control. Gazelles run with gazelles, avoiding obstacles without thinking. Times Square during rush hour, avoiding humans without thinking. Humans can't help not think. You can't be human alone. Ubuntu, Of the form is ethnicity. Measure your moves by running next to your four-legged tongue, as in like human invention running the streets, like human intention running the human, like the pages inside my private revolution running a world I can't see. Humans are modulation, adept at presentation. The day I control my language will be my downfall. Style is my doorway, but edge is my groove. Of the move is ethnicity. What if I don't want to be on your team? When I was in Little League, my body had yet to catch my imagination. The ball in right field and my long puppy legs mangled any sense of balance. I tried to catch the ball, I really did, but my limbs preferred speed over physics. I was a beautiful flop, and no one else saw that. So the idea of team was always connected to flop. Of the mouth is ethnicity. Passengers seated in the first car are in the designated quiet car. The All Tariqua Noricua Project, an effort to save Los Refugiquas, those who have scampered away from whatever edges they were given, to rediscover the ones they were born with. Show your edges, and you too can land exactly where you are. A citizen relocation program, where location gets renationed as translation. Show your papers, and you too can live in constant translation. A pre-dimension surrounding the Euclidean barrio. Dimension 1, ta. Dimension 2, e. Dimension 3, no, taíno. Taíno! Los indios taíno. Passengers seated in the no car are in the designated gotta go car. Atencione, atencione, recited through Latinx megaphone. Carteros y cartamagnas, latinxnos, afrinxnos, xorixwas, satinxwas, whatever you think, Savax. We are scattered everywhere. No room for everything. But take your nombre. Something easy to change. The All Tariqua Refugiqua Project, an effort to save the lost Boricuas by re-recon every coquille with a promise to stay. If I leave, I'll be right back. Don't need my flag, just want my zero. My circular hero, my mountain, my top. Of the poet is ethnicity. Of hybrid is page, an ocean in my hand, masquerading as manifesto. No margins in my fingers, no borders in my pen, no ink, no stain, no endless sky. Look at the guitarist who played salsa while we waited for grunge, or the foreign American newscaster with no accent, or the newly discovered planet obscured by light years of orbital reassignment, sneaking a peek at me down here trying to love the skin I'm in just to fit in. Plunge into your soft spot, with empathy entranced by dimension, by geography in the mangle of hybrid. These are the lost Boricuas. The Mexican who pretends to be Dominican so that his Ecuadorian visa will get him back to Cuba. This is about territory and long legs, and how to step over tiny rocks. My calling, connection, plug in, and cloud, plug out. And maybe something about a human who does things to be a human. An animal in guise of animal, by owning what it's been given. A designated human. I can Yo puedo, yo soy, I be. I want, yo quiero, yo soy, I be. I feel, yo siento, yo soy, I be. The father's father holds the son's son, as the daughter's daughter holds the mother's mom. Lifelines scattered across infinite bloodlines. Ethnicity has no home. You can't be ethnic alone. Ah, 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 ah. When I moved away from everything I knew, I didn't realize the need for difficulty, for that sense of being surrounded by what you know you can't control. Circulate with the earth, and migration will skip you by. Look for new steps, and feet will betray wonder. I know, I know. How small to land on what you know.
Yes.
Then the short one, and then the recording. This is called No Yo-Yo. He's from New York, from Puerto Rico, New York. He's a Nuyorican, what they call a Riqueño. Being new or Trigueño, speaking new or Rican, a New-York-seeking New Yorker, is he new or a porter? A port of sherry, sherry, sherry. Puerto, Puerto, Yorko, Yoko, el Coco. ¿Qué hablas? Se habla Coco. Noco, no city. Port of no city Rican. A Puerto Rico is called a Boricua. A Boricua? A boring what? A bore. This is boring. Into my yawner. What you saying? What news saying? The news say be the news city of York. A Yorkie, a pit, a bull, a toro, a torres. A Nores. A city no-no. A city Yorker uncorked. A boozer, a bozo, a new bozo. Yo soy bozo in the yo zone. See, yo soy the new yo. That's the new yo, bro. Yo Rican, see, soy no Rican. He's no Rican from Noricua. He's no you. No yo, no I. The I in I is the new no. I be some of that new no from Noricua, bro. And then this recording, this is Miguel is all about palabreando, playing with language, and that's what I'm about to, like the inside language is where we find new nations, So this last piece is a recording I did. Miguel was very shy about recording his own voice, and I was surprised that it took so long to convince him to come to the studio. I was working with a drummer at the time, a percussionist, like an avant-garde, non-Latino, non-salsa, experimental percussionist. So I wanted Miguel to come in and offset that, So we got together, we talked through it, but no rehearsal. This is the exact improvisation that we then mixed, and we made it a record, and we did silk screen words on it. So the drummer and I made it as a special little item. So anyway, okay, I'm going to share the screen here. And here we go. Carajo, sorry. At the Zoom, yes, here we go.
And close your mouth so I can be your mountain.
mind, muscle
visions of
resistant.
wind,
Did you hear that
blue
note?
eyes,
It was an E.
amber sky.
No, an F flat in concert key.
Another
Came just like that.
year
She,
came into view.
ancient Roman aqueduct
Blast over
for sound flow.
at last.
She,
Take you,
transparent
senses,
meditations
into
on a
waves
slack. She's the
of days.
future
I've
of
waited for days.
language,
I've moved
chemical,
across my heart's desire.
biological change, emitting sounds at the door of the beginning. Where sound is chemistry.
Equinical kiss.
She no idea about the thing but the very thing itself. She no idea about the thing but the very thing
Inside
itself.
you, then you can touch me
She's
so
the
beautiful, beautiful.
moment. She's She no fear of what's to come. She improvisation itself. She the answer to plutonium. She a broker, sounding off the liquid passages of she invisible to secrets. She melts
with her
psychic,
eyes
analytic
closed.
the bass.
Look at me.
She piano.
Close your eyes.
She
so I can lead your horses with you.
Me take you.
A cloud gallop, riding through visions of glass, visions of wind through eyes of amber skies. Another you came into view of glassed over. Take me at last over. Take you since sun senses splintered hooves across waves of days. I've waited for days of hooves across my heart's desire. Blazing fire in the
More flexible than wind. She the spirit of
Equinical
superwoman.
kiss gallops
In the American
across
dream.
you, inside you.
Say,
Then
B,
you can
you're
touch
doing
you,
a
such
set with
beautiful,
Ray
beautiful
Atlantic City
satire.
tonight?
Take me
Nah,
to
he's
another
still skating
you.
around
Take
that girl.
me to another you. Take me to another you. Take me to another
like
you. Take
Suzanne
me to another you.
Farrell
Take me to
moves
another you.
in
Take me to
balance
another you.
shoes,
Take me
concerto
to
barocco.
another you. Take me to another you.
No, you.
Take me to
She cements the stars into a continuity like total orgasm after struggling to break mold. Right from the throat, seeking, yielding, grieving. She cataracts of sublime scales, groping, touching. She, la música. She es una donna. You take me.
Take me.
Me take you. She.
Thank you. Thank you, Miguel.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're
That is
welcome.
like, that is a gem right there. Wow.
Yeah, very honored to have had that experience, and it's great to share it with everybody. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, if you can please tell everyone where we can keep up with you, follow you. If you're gonna perform anytime soon.
I'm working on my next book, Quanundrum. That the pieces are in has I do a lot of visual work too, so the book will have graphics in it also. So that's coming out in the fall. I have a few things here and there, but that's enough for now. This is about Miguel, so thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. That was amazing. All right. So shout out one more time for our featured artist, Edwin Torres. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move on with the rest of our amazing performers that we have lined up. So up next, we will have Amanda Villanueva. Are you here?
I am. I'm here.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone who contributed to this event because this has been really dope. I'll just get right to it. My piece is a praise poem for the Bronx. It's a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy, but I'll just get right to it. If there are any New York fam in here that go to the online open mics, they've heard this before, but I'm honored to read this again. Okay. I have been a Bronx bitch for many lifetimes, for I have been burned from beneath the ground and still I motherfucking rise. I am the birth of hip hop. I am long walks on the Grand Concourse. I am the matching leather belt to go with them Jordans we just waited in line for. I'm from using a toothbrush to slick down my baby hairs. I'm from bamboo door knocker earrings with my name straight in the middle and a razor sharp red mouth. I'm from the second building to the left. I'm from patched Pepe jeans and Rockaware tracksuits. I'm from Boricua Morena. I'm from what the fuck you looking at? I'm from thank you God for letting me leave this place so I could embrace another version of me because bomba dancing saved my life and drum circles brought me back to it. Poets taste my magic and forced me to taste it too. I'm from Pegao, not Kong Kong. I'm from Kenepa, not Limoncillo, but we don't care how we look, sound, or write, just as long as there's a fight, just as long as we release this disease from our bodies. A day without our craft makes us weep viciously. We dance because shackles are no longer on our feet. We drum to let the sun know it too has needs. Like feeling, like hearing our heartbeats greet the air. We turn our longing into poetry because it's the only way our stories make sense. My people are the artists who are never in competition, but simply taking each other back home. A phone call away, I might always be. My first poem to you knew it would never be the last, knew it would never be put in the past. This ass knew touching you would leave an intricate scar, real far away from our distorted reality. Do not challenge me. My island, she misses me and I miss her. I concur, I miss you like the sky misses blue, like an unfinished tattoo. Fuck a taboo. I won't apologize for knowing I taste as good as the moon, if not better, if not wetter, if not with more flavor. A monsoon of pleasure around your throat and in between your toes. I make you shut up. I make you put your hands to work. Brujeria berserk after dessert. This will hurt, but the landing is soft. My gentle rose petal. If you plan to cut the leash, I hope you retie it to choke me and poke me to make a toast to me. Drink me for eternity. I'm from the after parties we can't speak of, but we still do. We got proof of that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. La boricua que sepa todita. I'm from shots fired for breakfast and sancocho for lunch. I'm from the Black Brady Bunch. I'm from where we not scared to have fun. I'm from I don't care if she's more informed. I promise I will teach you more. I'm from where we fuck the hottest poets on the block. You better handle this heat. You better be faster than me. I'm from where we snatch your man and don't give him back. These are the facts. Be mad at God if you want to. I once wanted to be Mother Earth, but even that wasn't big enough for me. Perhaps I am every galaxy. Perhaps I am made of every single God we all dream of. So my place is inside everything they create. I am part earth, part water, and mostly fire for a stronger desire for the slums and the riches. I am Africa and Europe and the Caribbean Sea dripping out of me. I am a tragedy turned into a miracle. Thank you.
Yes, poet. Oh, that was dope. That was dope.
Get him.
Yes.
Thank
Tell us, oh my God, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Medium. I post my poetry on Medium all the time. Amanda Ashley Villanueva. I'll post it in the chat so you can just copy it. But yeah, thank you for having me. This has been dope.
Of course, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Coming up next, we have Kyra. Welcome to Palabreando.
Hi, how are y'all?
Good, how are you?
Girl.
Real well, thank you. And thank you to just all the magic. That was fire. Everybody, it's been really beautiful to hear y'all and hear everything that you've had to share with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The piece I'm gonna perform, it's for me and for every other Black woman who's in this country reckoning with the fact that you and camera phones are your best advocate. Shout out to Ijeoma Ukenta and the whole situation at Victoria's Secret, and the way that is still very triggering, but also how we rise above that. So this is When a Black Woman Speaks, with special thanks to every Black man who encouraged the correction in this piece while also honoring my right to speak with or without y'all's cosign. Thank you. No names of deceased Black women will be held hostage within the writing lining the walls of this poem. No one, not even this queen speaking, will cash in on the divinity defying the dust to dust mid-decay dawning dead Black women's names here. Instead, dear, hear this. Normalize not calling a Black woman queen as you repeatedly cut the head off each of her thoughts mid-speech. When you riddle her wisdom a broken record beneath your stuttering, impudent tongue, don't add insult to injury by reminding the world just how divinely destined dynasty you knew she was and is and will always be. If she really be meant to reign with sovereignty over the responsibilities she has to every subject under the sound of this good sis, spitting her hard-won her story, what less than fresh and deaf jester have you whittled away in your king to think yourself more than mere mortal overruling co-royalty? Honey, I speak order to the court. I speak the return of etiquette to the tip of tongue and teeth. I speak common sense and decency. I speak integrity to practice what we preach. I mean, may we learn the love in listening to understand, not just subtweet. I mean, may we learn that only fools believe their mouths may run roughshod, mining Mother Earth for riches, lining her mind and mouth with restless and reckless intent to resurrect the dead doctrine of white men's manifest destiny, as if Almighty God dictates their right to declare war on all they say seems wrong with a woman's voice walking heavy in gardens overgrown her secrets. Seeding till conceiving the world she converses and cultivates, cares for and carries on her back, stacked the same spine she bends to spend her earth, giving birth, worth, life, and meaning. I mean, blessed are the meek who hold agreement and hands pressed in harmony for amen with no malice or murderous intent. I learned how to mean that well when I once witnessed a man try mental and emotional homicide on for size at an open mic. I watched him cut the head off a woman's thoughts while claiming himself Samaritan sent to help her find humility, called her queen while routinely guillotining the mentality he made believe she had before her point or view could rescue him or just come to common sense. let alone her own defense. She was mansplained free from beliefs he guessed she possessed, given every other word she said, but he barely heard, missed her and her message, and the harmony that would have held their words above whatever triggers were suiting and booting his war on terror best. He seemed to think himself savior, neighbor, God sent to gather her from the remains of her made up mind. But her mind, much like mine, was never made reckless or laid to rest in ruins. We Black women, be no time bomb made ready to rattle the sky. My mind was never meant to be anything less than cathedral, charged to serve and seek sanctuary, seated at the feet of the Most High, through whom all true knowledge peeps, show and tell. It is well with this soul. So normalize my voice with no more hell-raised awareness that I should speak like a lady, which is to say each one of my words should bespeak apology as subtext, as bottom line. Break chains in your mind. Free me from fetters I was first brute forced to wear, forced to bear with the bit lip, forced to birth silence like labor of love, forced to break the base of spine, to give way to shame and shallow among strange tongues tied to my mother nature, dip deep in disrespect and disrepair, then declared my God-given duty to nurse that same shame at my breast, nickname it my place, and soul space safe to bear my soul, but no. Normalize my mind relieved of all muscles, given my mouth to de-beak, bespeak the bass and the treble you've cast me in, but back my bare in tone outside of homeless. But for the hostility you've held me hostage in, as if toxic masculinity could make the halfway house of male hubris a home, then call it a woman's home without her consent. We never consented to being diminished simply for being witnessed within this feminine existence. So normalize the voice of this Black woman without the knee of misogyny on my neck. And let me show how much I mean well, even as I will all that I mean from all that I've seen. Thank y'all.
Yes, poet. Yes, that was amazing. Thank you so much for always coming and just blowing everything. Thank you. All right, so up next, we will have Inez. Are you here?
I'm here. Hello. How are you
Welcome
doing?
back.
Always so happy to be in attendance here, especially today, in honor of Miguel, in honor of being Puerto Rican and, you know, being a part of the diaspora. It is beautiful to be here. It is beautiful to hear everybody today. It has been phenomenal. So I know this is a spoken word event, and I usually perform poetry, which I have a new poem. It's about boundaries. It's nice. It's important. But I feel really called to share this song that I wrote. If y'all are down to hear a song, music is just poetry in motion. So, and this is the first song I've ever written, and it's very close to my heart. And it speaks to me being not a woman. I'm a non-binary person, but being someone who is perceived as a woman and is constantly dealing with sexual harassment, living in the city and being a part of a matriarchal society, you know? So I'm really excited to perform this. This will be my first time performing this song for like not my close friends. So this is really exciting. And I'm grateful to be here. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Can y'all hear my ukulele okay? Yes. Cute. You hear me and the ukulele at the same time, yeah?
Yeah.
Cute. I appreciate y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all for letting me switch it up and bringing some music into the space. And I hope you enjoy. Let me drink water. Hold on. Do you like my dress? Do you like my shoes? Do you like how I smile? How it lights up the room. I'm happy to share space and be close to you. I shouldn't have to ask for you not to. Please don't put your hands on me. And please don't feed my bed, please. I just want some fucking peace. Must have been a moment for you, but it's a lifetime for me. Is it my chest? There's no excuse. Is it my voice? How I sing for you? I'll act like it's fine, and I wanted to. I shouldn't have to ask for you not to, but please don't put your hands on me, and please don't feed my bed, please. I just want some fucking peace. Must have been a moment for you, but it's a lifetime for me. Lines drawn in the sand. Is this what you had planned? Filling me with your hands. Lines drawn in the sand. Is this what you had planned? Filling me with your hands. Do you like my dress? Do you like my shoes? Do you like how I smile? How it lights up the room, and I'm happy to share space and be close to you. I shouldn't have to ask for you not to, but please don't put your hands on me. Please don't feed my bed, please. I just want some fucking peace. Must have been a moment for you, but it's a lifetime for me. Must have been a moment for you, but it's a lifetime for me. Must have been a moment for you, but it's a lifetime for me. My voice is so shaky. Forgive, I've never performed this before. So, and it's a very emotional song for me because sexual abuse and shit is misgendering is something I go through frequently, especially as a non-binary person of color. So I'm thankful for y'all for holding space and letting me share this piece of myself in such a sacred space for who we are honoring today. I'm very thankful.
Yes, thank you so much. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me. So y'all can find me at Ashley Ines Art on Instagram. I don't typically perform. Sometimes I'll spew music and poetry, but most of what I do is visual art. So sculptures, jewelry, soon clothes, plushies, digital art, prints, things of that nature. You can find me there doing all of that and continually learning myself and getting closer to community. That's really what I'm moving towards. So thank you. I'm shameless self-plug. If y'all want to find me this weekend at the People's Forum, selling my art in person, come through, come buy a sticker, come give me a high five.
Nice. Thank you so much for your amazing performance as usual. We really appreciate it. So before we move to our second special guest performer of the night, I'm gonna share a short piece for those who are checking us out and speak different languages. Lo voy a hacer en español, just to switch it up a little bit. Dice: Buenos días, América. Mi bolsa sin Shanghai en esta métrica colérica, y es que ya me cansé de estar pletórico y exploto la oratoria. Luego la euforia por las mieles del consumo cortan alas a mi gloria. Todo es pagar para engordarla. Su misión este esclavismo posmoderno y su soñar ser un amante latino para las del espíritu inconcluso, el incómodo recluso de sus credos en desuso. Seré el idioma del futuro de este circo taciturno, el exótico, salvaje, que ha logrado arremedarle los modales y servir sus comensales, que lo irónico es cagar en esta lucha que camina con pañales. Bendíceme de verde para escaparme del apando y después asesinarte verde dólar en el nombre del mocambo. Buenos días, América. Thank you. Bliss, do you want to introduce our guest performer, second guest performer of the night? We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I have myself mute. All right, so up next we have our special guest performer, Hattress Barbour. I have seen him perform like maybe 1 or 2 years ago in this spot in Harlem and just blew my mind. So I had to invite him here. So yes, Hattress, is you here?
Yes, I am here. Thank you so much, Lyrical. And thank you for the platform. I've been running around crazy because today is actually my son's birthday. So I just celebrated with him, put him to sleep. Well, we're trying to put him to sleep now. So that's what we're doing. So like as she stated, my name is Hattress. It's like matches with the H, but please don't sleep with me. I actually started at Nuyorican, so like this holds a very special place in my heart too. So yeah, I'll just get into the segment. The first piece I like to perform is a piece called Magic. I wrote it for the women in my family, because that's what they are. See, the women in my family are magic. Like I had witnessed them transform tragedy into triumph, cradling self-esteem and rocking pain to sleep with lullabies that soothe the average beast like me. See, I've seen them look death dead in the eyes and laugh like only a Black woman could. With enough cocoa butter and shade to even out all of my dark places. With enough snaps, neck rolls, and hand claps to let you know when they ain't playing. Enough fortitude to last generations, because as we all know, Black, it just don't crack like that. Because see, when my mother died, these women literally put the men on their back and carried us to understanding. When my uncle died, they were the only ones to not cry. The only ones to allow for us men to be both vulnerable and safe. You see, this is what God must feel like. They say the burden of strength, it always lies with the wise. Well, these women birth boulders and can move mountains with their mouths. See, I remember overhearing conversations in the kitchen. And if y'all know anything, y'all know there's nothing more magical than 4 Black women in one kitchen. See, I watched them there, conjuring feasts fit for kings, with recipes passed on from elders I have never seen, but always knew they loved me still to this day just by the way my food tasted. I watched them there, gracefully stirring pots, measuring by hand just the right amount that's good for your soul. See, it was good for your soul like church, because the kitchen, it was praise and worship. The kitchen was knees on a pew, an invitation to forgiveness. And these women, These women were extensions of God. These women were fried chicken, collards and turkey neck bones, baked mac and cheese, gizzards, and gluten-filled bread, because gluten-free just don't taste the same. These women were seasoning, picked from the earth and packaged in tough love, raw, salty, and sweet. These women have survived fires and lived to tell of smoke, of rubble, of ash that blows in the wind like strange fruit on Mississippi trees. See, they have seen their fathers die by the hands of whites and still manage to smile. They have seen their mothers go from matriarchs to forgotten by the history books and still encouraged us to read until we can write until it is right, until monuments are erected in their honor. And even if they aren't, at least all of y'all will know that this little black boy came from a loving family. So it amazes me how hearing the rumblings of an empty stomach was the only motivation they needed. How they withdrew pain from wounds I never knew I had. How they had love etched on the insides of their arms so that every hug had the power of healing. How they knew honey and ginger and apple cider vinegar worked better than anything a doctor could ever prescribe. I have no idea. See, the women in my family are magic. I swear. And I just want them to know that that monument they've been waiting for has always been right there. Thank y'all for that. That was my first piece. Truly appreciate it. Thank y'all. So like I'm a performer. So it's like I like crowd participation. I like to interact with the crowd. And like the virtual stage, I'm still getting used to. So I might ask y'all to just unmute and you know, let me know how you feel. If it was horrible, tell me that too. I want to get all feedback is welcome. I love all of it. So my last name is Barbour. Somebody asked me. Yeah, my last name is Barbour. So yeah, that was my first piece. My next piece, since we're talking about language, I actually have a piece called Language. And I'll just get into it. I'm not going to preface it too much. Growing up, I realized that my mother, she never prayed in the oppressor's tongue. And it taught me something. It taught me that there's something magical about our words, about slurred speech and colloquial language, southern drawls, rolled L's, S's like Bohemian C's. See, the day I learned motherfucker with an A and not an ER is a day that gave me the right to dictate my diction. The night I strung yo-yo-yos together in articulate speech felt like the first yo-yo trick they ever teach, but I was far from sleep. I was reclaiming my identity. Like that's my mother, my brother, my sisters. See, praise be to all my niggas with an A. Praise be to all my niggas today, because we exist still. Still boots, bubblegum soul, hard leather skin. My niggas with an A are Timbs, even when they wish us tombs. How can I not be indestructible? How can I not be cocky and arrogant when we are charged with death from the womb? See, isn't it crafty? How we make soup out of force-fed language, till conversations taste like gumbo to empty stomachs, till this poem becomes a mosaic speech cracked like stained church windows, beautiful as God. So this is for lazy tongues and complex conversations. For subtle nuances outsiders will never fully grasp or try to mimic, and then they got the nerve to say that we talk black. Like you goddamn right. Didn't you know ain't no diamond in the rough like a black mouth, black lips that can turn shit into sugar upon pronunciation, black speech, the mother of all language, the mother, not mother, the motherfucking greatest thing to ever happen since God said, and let there be light. And we just open our mouths with the gates of heaven on the tips of our tongue. See, they would love for me to say pardon this crash sound, but nothing, and I mean nothing, this heavy can ever exist without a little wreckage, a little undoing, a little calculated carnage in phrases that swoon like leaves on island trees while we shoot the breeze on Lenox Ave where Langston Hughes used to be. See, this is our gift. This light This presence is a present for them. And truth be told, they motherfucking welcome. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. That was language.
Yes.
Thank y'all. I got one more for y'all. It's a little heavy. Just because I'm feeling like that. That's just how I go. This is the last piece. It's called 10 Things I Hate About Your God. After that, I'll let you know where you can find me at and all that good stuff. But yeah. Ten things I hate about your God. 1, if religion is man-made and God made man, then how did he let us get it so wrong? Isn't your God funny that way? After the collection plate has swallowed our taxes and prayers are sent into the air, when drums and snares are done evoking spirits that may or may not have ever been there, and when speaking in tongues makes no sense to dead ears, just where was your God? 2, the way he runs me dry and twists me out like a rag laid in sun. What happens to a raisin left out? Probably what happens at crucifixion. Probably what happens to Jesus. Wait, am I Jesus? 3, why don't Jesus look like me? I mean, I know I heard he faced fire and brimstone the same way and gave his life for those who could care less for him or for me or for us for that matter. See, I know all too well the parable of open hands and full cups. I made that up. But it's a brilliant story of unrecognized existence since your God doesn't even mention me in your Bible 4. I wrote a letter to God some years ago. He still has yet to write me back. 5, I prayed for a sign one day on an empty highway under sorrow skies going faster than I should have. I prayed for a sign, drunk off my own resentment in a bladder full of that nice whiskey. I prayed for a sign. And swallowed the silence as I was served. 6, my mother used to call me her heart. She never told me it was filled with cancer. 7, your God made cancer for black folk like he made chitlin for black folk and privilege for white folk, but isn't he just funny? 8, that time I tried to swallow myself whole. In an empty bathroom, 2 pills away from that shit Morpheus was talking about. You see, I fancy myself a black Neo. And no, not Nazi. Although I wonder what it feels like to kill without being called a hateful. I wonder what it feels like to demand life just by being, or better yet, to burn my own cross to the ground. 9, I have been killed by my peers so many times to recollect each one. And I have still yet to resurrect. Sometimes faith could be a funny lesson in resilience that you only learn in death. Your God is funny that way, right? 10, faith is the reason why I'm still writing this letter to God on this day. Pen shaking with grief. What if faith is just the practice of unrequited love? What if unrequited love is what prepared me for this life? What if your God isn't that funny after all? Thank y'all. I truly appreciate the time.
Woo! More poets.
Thank you. So like I said, my name is Hattress, like matches with an H, so please don't sleep on me. I'm a published author. I have a book out. It's called If Ever We Were. You can find it on my website. I can put all that information there. I also run an open mic in Harlem called The Poetry. We rock every second and last Tuesday of the month. You can follow me on Instagram at @Iam_Hattress. And I'm just truly blessed and honored to be here with you guys. Thank y'all so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Coming up next, we have Quote the MC. Bienvenido a Palabreando. Quote the MC. Welcome to Palabreando. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, welcome.
Up quote.
Hey, peace, everybody. Y'all can hear me good?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did a sound check earlier, so I'm hoping that's it. I'm outside, so might hear some
Okay,
cat
set
words or
up.
whatever, but here we here. So first and foremost, I want to thank and shout out all the artists for sharing this space with me and just sharing your art, your craft, your soul. Shout out and big honor to Miguel. I am Pope the MC, a hip hop musician, hip hop soul musician out of the Bronx. So as someone else did a little bit of music, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same. Well, I guess that is rap is rhythm and poetry, but I go by hip hop artists more so than anything else. So we're gonna get into this. This song is titled King-ish. Yeah, I'm not gonna disclose nothing. I'm gonna just come into it, kind of a coming of age of myself, if you will. And let's go. Hey. What you want from a certified king, yo? Huh? What you want from a certified king? King in it, watch the crown when he spit it. Believe in his every move like he's leading religion. Just win it is my mental condition. Refuse to take losses no matter the disposition. Never gonna catch me tripping. Never no code switching. If ever, just no. I'm glitching. Every written he hitting, I'm missing. You know I'm singing. Stay consistent with giving you whippings within the lyrics. Quote is the uptown starting. Rep 149 in Jackson. Don't come round here fronting unless you want that action. I'm an addict of passion. Live for my satisfaction. So efficient and rapping that you cannot reach my bracket. Arrogant out of habit. Confidence at its truest. Undisputed belief in his words beyond the music. Focus on connected to aspirate to one unit. Ain't something no trends. This king talk is a movement. Bloom. Blah. What you want from a certified king, yo? Huh? What you want from a certified king? I'll speed it up a little bit on this one. Check it out, check it. Feel like I'm King Kong. Drop a verse and make it use it for your ringtone. Think you messing with the king, well you dead wrong. Got skills that'll run you by the mile long. What you about to talk about? Something real with the same thing, chasing clout. Man, you know I keep 100, check my SoundCloud. Rumors that at a jump and make the gods proud. Presence of a king, man. Type of lyrics that'll knock you out the ring, fan. Punch lines, got them choke on your teeth, wham. Bring heat if you're looking for a feature jam. Talking like the crowd's mine. Was I walking like a talker, call me prime time. Using out your instrumentals with every rhyme. Man, I'm gunning for respect with a little shine. Let's with a text at a level that'll make you raise the bar. Checking for a queen that'll let me hug on them curves like NASCAR. Round 50 years long, but the MC, he's still a genius. The demeanor so regal that you gotta call him niggas. Little bit of this and a little bit of that. Mix it together so when a lot of pro-black. The answer to don't call me quote when I rap. Giving my perception of skewing from the facts. Starting to look slow if you can't really rap. Raising the prison water, know how to act. Harlem born, know the black culture where it's at. We going uptown, sit, shout it to your track. Q, cause your words for you. Snap, he making hits, don't need your back. Cut the radio, cause your whoop whack. To be exact, your flow is snap. Flexing, cause hip hop is back. Grateful for that real rap. Patient and complacent, cause this art form keeps our lives intact. Hey, what you want from a certified king, yo? Huh? What you want from a certified king? Hey. What you want from a certified king, yo? Huh? What you want from a certified king? Got a mega modest on the singing on the tools with me. What you want from a certified king, yo? Huh? What I want from a certified king? All right. So that again, that song is titled King-ish. That was actually the clean, non-explicit version. There is a explicit version and a non-explicit version, but since my son was here a little earlier playing with us in the park, I went with the family-friendly route. But again, thank you for having me. Thank you for the space. Shout out to all the artists. A lot of y'all were dope with the energy. That song, as well as all of my music, can be found on all music platforms, be it YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, however it is you listen to music, under quote the letters MC, spelled exactly how that will be, quote the MC. And I can also be found on Instagram and Facebook as well on quote the MC. Everything is exactly the same. QUOTETHE MC through and through. Peace and love.
Yo, that was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your dopeness, the setup, everything. Just really, really dope.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Of course. Okay. Oh, I love that song. All right. So up next, we're going to have Taylor Corinne. Is you here, my love? Taylor?
Hello, let me mute that. Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here and seeing so many dope artists. I'm going to share a short piece. It's about how I've been feeling since the weather has been getting warmer and how people have been looking at me. And it's to encourage people of all body shapes to just wear what makes you feel comfortable without any criticism. It's 90 degrees. Time to reveal my skin and let it breathe and show off my melanin. Low-cut shirts will be worn, so you've been warned. I don't want to hear the girls are out tonight. That backhanded compliment, passive-aggressively telling me to cover up because I'm dressed inappropriately. Yet the girl sitting next to me is wearing the same thing, and no one says a damn thing. But because I have extra body, I have to hide the belly and the rolls that escape my shirt, begging for air in these high degrees. And let's not forget the guy on the street who thinks because my cleavage is in his view, that he is entitled to comment or attempt to feel. Oops, I'm sorry, he says after his elbow accidentally brushes my breast, and he chuckles away. Do I have "touch me" written on my back? Does this give you permission to cop a feel? All this attention when I'm just showing skin, wearing the normal looking clothes that over-sexualizes my body. I have no control when the weather is in the 90s. So yes, the girls are out tonight, only for my satisfaction, but they're not the problem. You make them the distraction. Thank you for having me.
Yes. No, all of that, just hit the nail.
Thanks. Y'all could find me on Instagram at Tay_speaks_. That's TAYSPEAKS. Did I spell that right? Yeah, Tay Speaks _.
Yes, thank you so much, Queen.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you. Coming up next, we have Alexander Celso. Welcome to Palabreando. Bienvenido. Alex, are you here?
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you for coming.
Yay. Thank you for having me. My little queer Nuyorican heart with Italian seasonings is very happy. I really do love this space. Okay, so this is a new one, and this is called From Alex to Alexander. If RuPaul were to hold up my childhood picture and say, what would you say to little Alexander? Through tears welling up like a moon, encouraging a tide to calm down, I'd say, your almond eyes sought connection like when glamour first touched your skin, pretending you were a Disney princess in mom's summer dresses and grandma's heels. You wished you were a woman so male love and affection wouldn't seem forbidden. A head tilt that screamed, Daddy, please love me, so your voice could deepen as you anxiously swallowed Tom's toothpaste to sweeten your rejection of your skinny body in the mirror. Mom's maple syrup brown eyes and Dad's dimpled chin and cheek smile. You were hugged too tightly by Mom to compensate for Dad's fear that your presence meant it was time to grow up. It's not your fault Dad stopped drawing and painting. You were his last creation and the vibrant color that would have danced happily on blank canvas. Your baby deer-like eyes, an ugly duckling self-imposed complex, toyed with images of suicide. Just so you could be a nosy fly on the wall and eat up words of condolences that taste like addictive chocolate donuts, you knew you were different and blamed Mom and Grandma's heavy feminine touch, a feminine mystique mistake, sensitive to bee sting and dart-like tones that bullied fragile boxes of crystal quick to shatter. Mood ring shifts in weather on a transparent childlike face, a smile smoothed on like a Band-Aid crowned with bacitracin. Your softness proved to be the cushion that got you back on your feet. Your feminine energy attracted the strongest of queer, near and dear female friends where laughs the louder and the dumber, the better, and crying is safely uncorking a bottle of fine wine. You lost people in your life like baby teeth and never profited from victimhood. Your warmth and favorite color radiates pink rebellion. The spotlight finds you now because you wished for it, whispering into the walls of your childhood bedroom. Your voice that you thought rang faggotry and would have traded for conversion therapy is your calming frequency that rings slightly higher than your past standards. Your poetic thoughts are your magic, and your blood runs like permanent ink with the courage to scribble and make beautiful mistakes. Your youth was founded on punishing your heart for feeling everything and seeing colors in darkness and offering hugs when you needed them most. Thank you for learning to garden and consistently wishing on stars to gift the adventurous, thriving soul you see today that wishes he could hug you, even in a sparkly gown. And that's that piece. If you want to... Thank you guys. I have an Instagram. I have an Instagram, guys. Now, if you want to see where new announcements will be, shows, all that stuff, at Alex and Satanya Face. I'll put that in the chat so you get to see the drag persona side, where this poem came from, and you also get to see the man behind it. And yeah, I'm gonna put all my info there. There's a link in a bio to my book, The Unicorn That Discovered Self-Love, and I can't wait to hear more of these poets and continue on with this great night. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for always coming and just killing it. Thank you. All right, so up next we will have Victory. Is you here?
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. This is my first time being here. Every time I want to come, I have like a class in between. So, very happy to be here. I'm actually going to sing a song. This is the first song I've written, produced, and put out, and it's basically, I write a lot of escapism music, especially during quarantine because that was terrible and I wanted to pretend I wasn't there. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Promise me that we will never die if we make some magic on this bumpy ride, or we can slow it down if you'd like. Darling, just slow it down if you'd like. Cross your heart and please don't tell me lies. What's the moment after? Once we wake outside, can we just hold it down for the night? Darling, just hold it down for the night. If I knew this was temporary, I would have never have fallen this deep, but I do it one last time. One last time. Do you feel the energy collide when the darkness clears up and brings out the light? Can you steal that feeling from the sky? Can we just take it down for the night? If I knew this was temporary, I would have never have fallen this deep, but I do it one last time. One last time. Slow it down for the night. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to Zoom. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much. I can drop the link in the comments, but you can find me on Instagram at eternal_nirvana with 2 A's. And on all streaming platforms, it's One More Time Victory. I have something coming out at the end of the month too. And yeah, my music is just to, bring joy to situations and help you escape for a little bit from wherever you are. So thank you.
Yes, that was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us and doing your thing.
Thank you for having me. You all have been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Coming up next, we have Mr. Salam. Welcome to Palabreando.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Oh, good,
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Today, I'm going to do sort of like, I guess you said, a triple threat. So I'm going to use a spoken word. Yeah, I'm going to probably do some drumming, and I'll probably end it with like me booging out, getting down and stuff. You know what I mean? So let's start with the spoken word. Okay, so this one I have wrote. You know what I mean? It's called well, I guess everybody saw Washington Heights. I mean, In the Heights. They have a title called Carnival del Barrio, right? So this spoken word is called Festival del Barrio, and it goes like this. It's hot. It's summer. I see cats cruising in their Lex, Ackies, and Hummers. Kids are done with the virtual school. They just reopened the public pool. So I got vaccinated, so I try to get it fast. And I'm still looking for work because I need cash. Businesses are struggling and the government is not giving out loots. It would be fair if they hire people with maximum wages so people don't file for lawsuits. However, I'm not going to let this mess ruin my summertime fun by enjoying the sand and the beaches and see all the ladies getting tan in the sun. Or I'll open the hydrant to cool off, with aqua. Sitting on the stoop, eating ice cream and pre-aqua. Block parties with the groovy sounds. Oh yes, I am hip hop bound. These are the good times that are positive and negatives got to go. And this is Festival del Barrio. 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 So that hood rat shit got to go. That knucklehead shit got to go. So I don't let these idiots ruin my groove with my conscious flow. So all the knives, the guns, and the drugs take that to another world because it's got to go. All I'm seeing is negativity in the news. I always try to look for the good news. So why did I create my own, whether I'm outside or at home? I heard that every reporter is looking for a story. How about hearing this story about brothers and sisters giving out positive vibes in the hood? It's cool to do something that is good. Not shooting a sledge this Festival del Barrio. 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 We all are Africans. Whether you claim you are English, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, and French. You gotta understand that all our ancestors, we all come from African blood, where they are spread out into the Americas and South Pacific. That's real, so don't clench. But the point I'm making is like celebrate your humanity. Wear your national flags in the air to fight insanity. So if you're not invited to a party, try to get you a son. If you're not invited to a party, create your own fun. Those cats are the real suckers when you go out like a smooth motherfucker. Like I said, they bring out the bad and you bring out the happy. So the main thing is to have fun and be happy. Party up with the summertime delights by eating all the food and the drinks and getting down to one of my jams called Rapturous Delights. And I remember seeing the old heads playing dominoes, reminiscing in the past. Talking about how times are moving fast. But fast and fun times are moments to enjoy. You heard and now you know. This is Festival del Barrio. 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 Neighborhood Festival. Neighborhood Festival. Neighborhood Festival. Neighborhood Festival. Alrighty. So now.
All right, thank you so much. So Salam, it is one piece per artist and we still have a few more artists to go. So thank you so much for sharing that piece. We will end that there and hopefully, next time you can share the other part of your performance.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. And,
where can we follow you?
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, so you can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I will also put some links like on the chat box or something like that. You know what I mean? So just follow me in those platforms. All right, thank you. Peace and blessings, and rest in peace, Miguel Algarin.
Yes, thank you so much. So up next, I will try my best to pronounce your name. We have Tezozoma. I know I butchered it, so please come up and just correct me.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
All right, I have one piece. Sorry. I had it open and I clicked on it and I closed it. All right. This is titled Masterclass. This is the masterclass you didn't know you needed, not the one you signed up for. This is the masterclass with no celebrity teacher, no poet laureates that will want to develop an appreciation for poetry. The class will not help you develop a listener's cognitive psychology. This class will not help you with your color, flavor, perceptual bias, your prototypical thinking, your olfactory memory, your autobiographical emotions, and your poetry sensory analysis. This master class will break your consensus models. It appreciates the differences amongst poets and listeners, reflects their individual physiology, reinforces neuropsychology and neurophysiology, and validating differences among poets and listeners. This master class has no syllabus, no recommended readings, no prerequisites, no outline, no synopsis, no program, no capitulation, no conspicuous, no rundown, no age limit, no entry fee. But as DG Clear will tell you, please donate to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and no one gives a shit about your reviews. But for sure, it's once a week. It's not the master class that will jaundice in your I poems, your I equals ego poems, will not endure the communal perceptions. The master class will shatter your terminal uniqueness, will shatter your obsession with your orifices. And we're glad you discovered them, that you discover your anorgasmia, and that they bring you your personal endorphin, oxytocin, and opioid. Your orifices or your eye poems deliver a transcendental real or its pure self-indulgence. Only so many of those poems before they will start tuning you out. This is not the master class that will abandon you in your puppy poetry stage. There is enough newspapers to dump your poetry on. This master class will not judge your dysphorias, your unsolidified identity, your individual affinity choices. This master class will cheerlead you and make you feel like a superstar. This is the master class that will beat the exaggerated sense of your abilities and achievements, your constant need for attention, affirmation, and praise, your exceptionalism, your perverted sense of exploiting others' personal pain, your sense of entitlement, and your expectations for special treatment, your preoccupation with power of success, your grandiosity, your feelings of envy, and your lack of empathy for others. This is the master class that will pick and shovel lyricism, shower you with similes, like and as, shock your norms with the musicality of allegorical homologies. We like to call metaphors, the serendipity of cognitive dissonance, and the personifications and animalifications. This is the master class that will gain you many detractors and few followers. At best, the community will claim you if you're lucky. Some will praise you. This is the master class, as Paul Skiff will remind us that the Nuyorican Miguel Algarin escribió con Safos.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Coming up next, we have Edward Foreman. Edward Foreman, welcome to Palabreando. Bienvenido a Palabreando. Edward Foreman, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Muchos gracias, hermano.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, but first I have to say, please cumpleaños, Senor Miguel, and many more. All right, my name is Ed Potastic, and I'm hoping to make you all feel fantastic. So please give me time so you can enjoy my rhymes. So please, so you can feel sublime. Thank you. This is called Bare Naked Truth. We're exposed poets. We stand naked every day. Oh, come on, you know it. 100 shades every single day. You know it, no denying it, our emotional full display. You have to quickly admit, we all write bare essays. Our words can really hit, fleshing out the inner gray. Yes, we're naked, don't quit, shine your golden ray. I know if you feel so sick, show the world the way. I hope it can really click. Chill away you and others' clay. Keep crushing those bricks. Help all who are lost and astray. Perform those emotional tricks. Make the inner trauma delay. Give a backbone for those pricks. Make the thunderstorms decay. Change or reform the skeptics. Acceptance, no more betrays. Support that man or chick. Unshackle the collars of obey. Make your personality stick. Give advice in life's disarrays. Remove those small annoying ticks. Bare naked insight you betray. You're naked. Everything will be okay. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Where can we follow you?
Oh, you can find me at Eddie Foreman on Facebook, and you can find me at Ed Foreman 92 on IG. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to shine my poetastic insight. Thank you very much, one and all. I hope you stand tall and keep your eyes on your golden ball.
Thank you so much. All right, so up next, we're going to have Daniel Villegas. Are you here?
Hola, hola, what's up? What's going on? I just want
Hello.
to say this has been an amazing night, a night of inspiration, so I'm glad to share this piece. It's going to be, it's a hip-hop piece, but it's going to be in Spanish. So those who know Spanish, that's cool. You can vibe with me. If you don't know Spanish, then feel the vibration and the sound of my delivery, and we'll hope to connect. I want to say peace to Boca Floja. You know, I've been following for a minute, so glad that you guys are doing this. So it goes like this. ¿Qué más te explico cuando digo lo que yo me siento? Miro va adentro y veo que cambio como el tiempo. Las horas van contando los segundos y mis sentimientos. Cuando rapeo me vuelvo como un Iron Man, volando por el cielo para sentir la rapidez. Me enfoco en las partes como un arquitecto, fluyendo con el ritmo para ser el best. Lo mejor es como viendo como una flor. Abre en la mañana, me cierro con el temblor. La luna brilla fuerte con su resplendor. De planeta cuando gira para ver mejor. De planeta cuando gira para ver mejor. La fuente como la mente si estás presente. Lograr ser el presidente si estás decente. La gente que grita grillos como un grillo cuando están en un partido de fútbol no es lo mismo de ver hip hop actualizado. Se escucha en los barrios sin los sicarios, no quiero drogas. Sin embargo, uso mis palabras como estrellas para alcanzar la meta sin alcahuetas. Lo que sí es cierto, enfrentar la vida bien directo, bien directo. ¿Qué más te digo? Yo amo la vida como un pequeño, ojos abiertos y listo todo para cuando cambie el viento. Imaginar todo lo que tengo adentro, convertirlo en pura luz cuando yo lo siento. Puro amor para este hip hop es lo mejor, punto a punto sin errores. El mundo quiero sanar como flores, que cambie sus pedales con su buen humor. La fuente residente de toda la gente se siente en la mente para por fin estar en paz con Dios cuando oro así, cuando oro así. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mil gracias, lo aprecio. Thank you for sharing. Where can we find you?
I put it in the chat, Daniel Villegas on Instagram. I just released a new music video. It's in English, you know, fighting against police brutality, as we know, all the stuff that has been going on. But I'm just really happy to be part of the community again. I stopped rhyming for a while. I wasn't doing so well. But now I'm back, so I'm glad that you're all doing this, providing space for people. Much love, mucha gratitud, and you know, I'll hit you up on the messenger and we could talk. So thank you very much. Y allí Daniel Villegas. Gracias.
I appreciate it, Daniel. Much love. Thank you so much. So coming up next, Palabreando, we have Iraida Rosado. Iraida, are you here? Welcome to Palabreando, Iraida Rosado.
I can't unmute. I'm having trouble unmuting.
Okay.
¿Ya sound? Hola. Hi, my name is Iraida Rosado, but it's actually Johnny Rose. So, yeah, you know, the government says it's Iraida Rosado, but my name is Johnny Rose. I am a Nuyorican poet. Miguel Algarin was one of my mentors. I had a relationship with him that just made me who I am, honestly. And so I just want to bring it back to the Miguel liberation, and so that we really remember him and who he was. This piece is called Algarin, and he built Algarin's poem, and you know, he built the house that really just inspired so many people in so many in unreal ways. You know, just being there and being outside with him, you know, seeing people, how people came to the Nuyorican from all over the world. It was one of the blessings that made me who I am. So one of the things that I wanted to do is I always I like to do poems that I like to present poems from the elders, because it's not always about our voice and what we're saying, but about the voices of those who actually gave us the platform to speak. So I'm going to share Algarin doing his thing quietly, how he did, with so much love and so much passion. And this is a short piece. It's one of the pieces that he would, can you see my screen? And it's one of the pieces that he would do on the fly and just share with people. And it's so short, but it's very profound and beautiful. Miguel Algarin.
I see, you see, and when I see what you see, the space between us disappears. But I still despair, because I do not know if you've done what I did in order to see what you see.
So that was in 2010. And can you see me? No. Elena, I can see you.
Y'all know about my afro? I'm about to split my
Is someone unmuted?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody has something.
Hey, make sure everyone's muted. Hold on.
That's not my screen.
Oh, let me see who that is.
Yeah,
so where that's coming from. Is that your YouTube on? Is your YouTube still on?
Yeah, it is. I was trying to turn it off, and it wasn't turning off. She's amazing, but yeah. So sorry about that. I tried to turn it off and I couldn't. But I wanted to just make sure that, you know, we shared some Miguel time, and this piece is called Algarin's poem. From the corner of the bar, our cacique's raucous laughter bellowed, reverbed from and through glass to brick, person to person. A symphony of creative promise. These brick walls, raw as his truth, as his love, always displayed, always infused into the telling. This stage, love, as our guttural growls and moans, ooh, and ah. The words floated out over and into the crowd, permeating the air they inhaled. We osmosis storytelling, they full of poem after poem after poem after poem after poem after poem after poem. So many poems, so many mantras. They are not with you while you scrape your insides clean to serve them on a plate. Poets removing brains from their bobbing cradles, rensing, thrumming, red viscous hearts, pulsating prayer, shiny, slippery, sluggish spleens slipping slowly into slumber, spines limber from bending and straightening and bowing and rising, licentious livers languishing in the libidinous lull of the boiling soup, all pulled from poets' cages. Buen provecho. Put them on the table, slicing bits and boiling with the sages, delicate parts to suck and spit, create these poems so sweet, salting and peppering to taste. We sit feasting, and those who do not partake do not matter. Cooking is so much like writing poems. Writing poems is so much like loving. Eating so much like making love. Peel the onion, gut and spit them rhymes. Them lines orgasm the truth. So tasty and rich, squeeze the blood from the vein and write with abandon. Let the words, your sounds, your soul, your art fly. Ah, ah. Truco, trunco, trunco, trunco. Truco, trunco, trunco, trunco. Truco, trunco, trunco, trunco.
That was amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we are down to our last poet of the night. So, Taru, are you here?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hello, welcome. Well, welcome back.
What's up? Thank you. So it's a privilege to be here, especially with honoring Algarin. I want to share one poem, and I'm not gonna take up too much time, but I really, as always, appreciate the fact that you all are consistent with this platform. All right, I'm just. A Rubik's Cube. And left behind my poetry, mindlessly shifting patterns, aiming for lines of uniformity. I stumbled upon the mystery of God, lost myself in it. Between front, right, up, inverted turns, I slipped into fragmented rainbow squares. Old covenant promises flooded my mind, but I was in desperate need of swimming lessons. So I life invested in YouTube. Watching algorithms match puzzle pieces for me, I figured God is just a massive cube, the Kaaba. Twist scrambled by human minds, but still solvable with some infinite algorithm problem. Math was never my strong suit. See, I stole from the Pope a holy, divine Rubik's Cube. But I cannot stop thinking about my black and white composition. That's it.
Hey, poet. Yes, where can we follow you?
You can follow me on IG at Taru to Life, TARU, the number 2, and then life. Yeah, I love that you all are continuing this. I love the energy. I love the fact that you all respect and admire and endear the elders enough to put this on and honor them. So thank you for having me again.
Of course. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the amazing performers. Everyone was amazing. This was such a great show. So thank you guys so much. It's been a privilege to co-host this amazing event.
Hey everyone, I want to oh wait, Boca Floja, do you want to say a few words before we go?
Just thank you. Really appreciate everybody's contribution, and more than anything, it was a great experience to be part of celebration of Miguel Algarin. So much love to you. Thank you.
And I just want to thank, there's so many people to thank tonight. We had a lot of incredible guests. I want to thank all the poets, and I want to thank all the poets who come back to many of our events. Taru, Alex, Inez, a lot of you have been here many times. It's always great to see you. I want to thank our incredible co-hosts, Poca Floja and Lyrical Bliss. Thank you for making the show run. I want to thank our great guest artists today, Hattress and Edwin Torres. Big shout out to them for representing the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and its legacy. And of course, Nancy Mercado and Lois Griffith for the folks who have a long legacy with the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Thank you for stopping by and saying a few words tonight too. And all of this cannot happen with the folks who do the technical work, Eva Pediglieri from City Lore, and of course our one and only Jorge Vasquez from the Bronx Music Heritage Center, who makes all of this technical thing, all the technical things happen. So we want to thank him. Please come back for our next event. We have some virtual events coming up, including an interview with Joe Conzo Jr., the hip-hop photographer, on the 28th. That'll be online right here on our Facebook page. We also have live events now at our new space at the Bronx Music Hall Plaza at the corner of 163rd and Washington. And we have a live event celebrating La Fiesta de Santiago on Saturday, July 24th. So we hope to see you virtually and live now. Please come back for Bronx Music Heritage Center programs. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.